In this week's chapter of One Piece, Carrot is about to be boiled alive by the evil bitch of a witch, Brûlée. Big Mom and Luffy decide to butt heads, and Pedro and Brook are about to go on a suicide mission of manliness. Before I begin the review, happy Thanksgiving, my friends. It's really great that we were able to get a chapter today. I'm very thankful that it arrived. It was an entertaining chapter, albeit not that much happened, but what is going on is pretty important. First and foremost, Big Mom is pissed off. Probably the most tension-filled part of the chapter was watching Luffy and Big Mom have this incredibly tense conversation. It's all over a snail phone, and we really don't get to see the two characters next to each other, but it might as well be taking place. What I love most about it is that Luffy refuses to be intimidated by Big Mom, despite the fact that Big Mom seems to have the upper hand in everything that's going on, having control of Sanji, potentially getting ready to join with Germa 66. She also happens to be in possession of that box from Fishman Island, which can make people grow older. She claims that after the wedding, she's going to open the box in front of everyone. I wonder what her ultimate plan is. Big Mom herself is also kind of a hard character to read, as she doesn't really have any strong allies. She basically just keeps a lot of her enemies very close. Case in point, Germa 66, the scene where Sanji's father was mentioning that her entire kingdom was incredibly diverse, but there are no giants. This seemed to really get under her skin, and this was just the beginning of her looking incredibly creepy and scary in this week's chapter, especially when she threatens Luffy, telling them that he better be prepared to go to hell and back, even willing to look past the whole fact that all of her candy was eaten and she was given all of that treasure. But of course, Luffy isn't going to stand for any of this. We also get to see more of her son's abilities in action this week. Mont Dior, the guy who can actually create the books. He's actually able to trap all of these living creatures within the books, and even humans as well. One of them which is a combination between a long arm and a long leg tribe, which is basically just a long limb member. But there's also the manticores from Impel Down, and what apparently I believe is some sort of weird panda creature. You kind of have to zoom in a little when you see that one. I love Mont Dior's book abilities, especially the fact that he can actually trap people within those books. He actually has this giant book which has a jail cell in it, and both Nami and Luffy are inside of there, and that's how they're actually talking to Big Mom in this chapter. Also, what I find very surprising is that Big Mom apparently doesn't give a crap that they were friends with Lola. In fact, she sort of disowned her daughter because apparently Lola was supposed to be married in a political marriage as well, which is going to be very beneficial to Big Mom. According to her, it would have made her Pirate King, which I honestly don't know if I should believe or not, but that's a pretty big statement, and she seems really pissed off about it. Luffy, of course, just wants to immediately fight with her, but of course Mom's not going to let that happen. Oh, please don't let anything bad happen to Carrot. She's easily my favorite member from the Mink tribe, and I don't want to see her go. Hell, she's still my favorite candidate for next Straw Hat Pirate. And Chopper seems to be just biding his time, knowing that he'll be able to break free of these chains when he transforms. He's just sort of waiting for the perfect opportunity to either save Carrot and escape, or do both all at the same time. I really can't wait to see how that's going to go down, and I just want to see more of Carrot in action. Because, I mean, there's a reason that they brought her along. She's not just there to be simple furry eye candy. She has to have an interesting backstory and hopefully some cool abilities, which have already been hinted at in a couple of the story arcs in the series, and I think this would be a great opportunity to finally see her shine. And then, of course, at the end of the chapter, the powder keg goes off. I especially love the beginnings to it, when Sanji is sitting in his room and just hoping that none of his friends are going to do anything too rash. Next thing, we have Pedro and Brook who are getting ready to throw one hell of a concert for Big Mom's army, which I'm imagining is going to result into some pretty crazy shit. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of One Piece? Really, I just don't have that much more to say about this one. It was a real simple chapter, just Big Mom and Luffy sizing each other up, getting to see what happened to Carrot and Chopper, and of course the ending, which is continuing to tease what's going to happen with Brook and Pedro. I'm really interested to see what his plan is going to be. I don't know how literal we can take the whole Brook getting ready to perform a concert thing is going to be. He is pulling out his sword, but for all we know, know he literally is going to play a concert for Big Mom's army and goons. We're just going to have to see how that plays out. I'm more interested to see in what Pedro is going to be doing, as he's still a very mysterious character, and a couple people even have theories that he could potentially actually be working against the Straw Hat Pirates. With some of the things that he's done in the previous arcs, especially in the Zoe arc when he reacted to the Straw Hats actually arriving to the island, I honestly do believe that Pedro has good intentions, but there's still a lot of mystery behind his character, so I can't wait to see that unfold. As I said earlier, I really hope that Carrot's going to be just fine, and I have a feeling she's going to be. I don't think they would just get really dark all of a sudden and decide to kill off a character like that. I just can't wait to see how Chopper is going to spring this trap. And of course, Luffy and Big Mom butting heads was exactly as you would expect it. They're both incredibly pig-headed in the way that they do things, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's just that they're so incredibly stubborn. It's an unstoppable force and an immovable object kind of situation, so I really can't wait to see how it's going to play out. And I was almost kind of expecting maybe Big Mom was going to actually take up Luffy on his offer to fight him, but of course she has bigger fish to fry. She really takes these whole political marriage things seriously, and I'm really interested to see if even Lola is going to return in this arc. I think it would really do a great job of bringing things back to the whole Thriller Bark saga, probably because, one, Big Mom is probably not going to be too happy about the fact that her daughter was kidnapped by Gecko Moria, despite the fact that she sort of disowned her, but I have a feeling that would probably get under her skin. She might even be proud of the fact that her daughter decided to go and do her own thing and potentially find her own husband. That being Absalom, who is not her husband, but she was definitely chasing down that guy. I don't know, maybe she has a thing for dudes with jaguar faces. All I know is this was a pretty solid chapter of One Piece, just sort of slowly moving the story along, but it certainly had a lot of great imagery going for it, especially in the beginning, the scenes with Carrot and Chopper, just all the characters that are in the background. Just look at some of these guys. There's one dude who looks like he's like half man, half train. He actually has like a giant smokestack head. I also really love the scenes with Monteor and Perospero and the other children of Big Mom. They're a bunch of goofy, ridiculous freaks, and I can't wait to see them in the anime version. They're just so colorful and creative. And that's exactly what this chapter was all about, but it didn't really do that much. That being said, I still think this was a solid addition to the One Piece mythos, which any One Piece fan should definitely check out. For me, this was a 3 out of 5 chapter, just a fun, average read, but again, something that all One Piece fans should definitely check out once. So that's my thoughts on this week's chapter. If you did read it, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. If you have any theories about what's going to happen later, please tell me there as well. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave me a comment or two, and how about giving me a like. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.